Hello and welcome back. Good afternoon to all of our American friends. Um, sorry, I'm so tired, y'all. This is really good. For another. Okay, sorry, you just caught me like cursing the sky because we cut out just now, but we're back. I'm gonna continue to do this fun little like landmine challenge with myself where I try and avoid all the dead spots in the tribal council area. Me are our lovely. Okay, we're. Oh my god. Is going exactly how I'm feeling. So, yeah. All right. And here we have David, Miko, Tyler, Bergen, Colt, Dave, and Matt on this partly cloudy day out here in Holton, Maine.
Cutler, welcome back to Tribal Council. I have seen both Cutler and Talos, but I haven't seen one person from either of those tribes yet, and that is you, Culp. You were the last chosen in the schoolyard pick for the swap and was sent to exile. How was that?
I got FOMO as it is, so that was a big for me. But when you grow up watching a lot of Star Trek, pro wrestling, you're kind of used to being the odd man out of things. You know, I know Bergen had a really hard choice to make in that moment, especially considering he was choosing between two original Machias. So it was definitely not an enviable position to be in. But knowing a little bit about the way his brain works, I kind of get it. He saw me make a fire. He knows I can handle myself in the situation. So maybe that's as simple as it was. But it turned out to be, I wouldn't say comfortable night, but better night than expected.
Good. Let's talk about the challenge today. Alex, you guys did really well. Miko, sorry, you guys did really, really well with the getting the jailbreak, getting that stuff and getting it undone, getting that done. What was your strategy going in there, and what was paying off and what wasn't paying off? What did you have to kind of shift?
Listen, I love a long, sturdy pole and a big gaping hole, and I know how to. Yeah, I just tied that shit together and stuck my hands out, and then did it.
You guys got it on pretty quick, while the other team kind of dropped
honestly,
almost immediately.
Tyler had like great ideas that she was giving me when like I feel like we were like making it in tandem because like you had that idea of like putting the knot on the top of the pole. It was super smart.
The snagger. Thank you.
I did hear that conversation about like giving each other credit for that great idea for the knot. That's exactly what caught that ring to give you that that advantage in the challenge. Dave, you nailed it with the grappling. I think you got two at one point. I think it only took you 2 tries to get all three. That was pretty impressive. You did that before? It looks like you.
I applied to Survivor 22 times. They've never called me back. So if you're watching, please call me back. A few years ago, my daughter and wife for my birthday brought me a grappling hook. So yeah, I practiced grappling hooks. And last night we went around and said, "What are we good at?" And I said, "I'm good at the grappling hook." When it showed up, they all looked at me. I'm like, "I got it," and I just didn't want to screw it up. So, thumbs up.
I don't mean to go back to Culp.
Yeah.
Was that a position that you wanted to be in? Was it a spot that you chose, or were you kind of guided to that position doing the equation?
I think it was the best of what was left, so to speak. I think everybody had claimed a bit of a position, and I was in Calc 2, trigonometry. Math didn't truly scare me until about an hour ago. When you're tired and up, and the simplest things can feel like monumental tasks. So I got it. But took a little longer than I would have expected. But it is what it is.
So after the loss, David, you come back and start strategizing. How are these conversations? Now these numbers are really dwindling. Look at how many people are over there. You're talking about hunting parties. You're talking about potential advantages. You're talking about the fundraising advantage. What is moving you to the next round? How do you get through?
Well, there's a lot of chaos, which probably doesn't come as much of a surprise. And I think that we're all savvy enough to consider like all the different permutations and combinations. And that would be one thing if it was just like people, but it's also just like, but what about this combination with the hunter parties? And what about this with the charity? And like, there's so many that I think, I can only speak for myself, but after a hot minute, like I had a headache and I was like, I need to stop thinking about this for a hot second. And I think sometimes like being as parsimonious and like to the point and being like, okay, what do I actually know? What is information that is like cold, hard facts? And then what are things that I can only just speculate about and like, think about in terms of probability. And this game is very much like luck and up in the air. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of hunting parties, we still have a very interesting case where this tribe has a full hunting party and this tribe has someone without anyone left in the game. Potentially, there could be someone, there could be 3 people eliminated with 1 vote, or a hunting party has no shot at getting potential advantage after the merge. Matt, are you hoping to eliminate potential 3s or keep people around so you know who you want to come back in the game? How is the potential battle back a thought in your mind moving forward?
Well, first of all, I am hoping to make it through this vote. That is always priority number 1. Pretty much the only priority I have. Get through the vote. As far as the hunting parties go, we've talked about. I think it's pretty cruel to vote someone out because it would eliminate 3 people from the game entirely. I don't mind a battle back scenario that gives everyone the chance to play. So the idea of voting someone out purely for that reason just seems unnecessarily cruel. So I don't think that's playing into the factor. I'd be lying if I hadn't thought about the fact that we have a hunter party here. That if these 2 guys are in the game with me, that we would potentially get an advantage. But there's also the other hunting party on the other tribe. I don't know when, if at all, merge would come, and it's not really something that I can prioritize thinking about over just get through this vote.
Yeah. David, you did say there was a little bit of chaos in the conversation, and while Matt was talking, I think the 3 in the back were having a little bit of a conversation. Do you want to elaborate on the potential chaos that's happening at this tribal?
Talking about how cold it is out here. It's just really cold. Freezing.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah. It's a little bit. Does anyone else have anything else they'd like to say before we get to a vote? Think that maybe they'd like to say their tribe or something I might have missed?
I like to say that I hate this part. That's all. I think everybody does. And I think we all do it in we bond at night. We bond when we're doing the challenges we do. You don't want to do a swap. You never want to you kind of want to stick with people. You get like loyal friends, you get loyal acquaintances. You guys do really well together. Like you said, numbers are like coming down. And so it's not where you feel like, oh, well, maybe somebody's like a weakness or whatever. No, you're at a point now where everybody's so strong that you're kind of like, well, then what do we do? Because you don't want to be losing the challenges and coming to this horrid place. But we're here, and I think that we're all going to do, I think you had made a good point, like taking out all of the crappy factors and just doing like what we know for sure.
Yep.
And that's really all you can do.
You mentioned what can we do, and the only thing now is to vote. So I think let's start. David, we'll start with you.
We love a good transition. All right, we are going to head on out to tea time now while these players go ahead and vote. I'm excited to report that I am walking barefoot across this grass. It feels so nice to be out here in nature in beautiful Houlton, Maine. All right. So we will head on over here and we will dish all together. All right, so I was told by my tea informants, I'm sorry, my confessional professionals, that this was going to be a straightforward, easy round. But when have they ever been? So it was, you know, not that. All right, so we do, however, have one overarching theme of this vote, which is exciting because that might have not happened yet in this game. So here we go. So as we saw at last with New Cutler, the Cream Telos and Red Cutler tribes or tribe members banded together versus the Green Machias players and gave Brad the boot because they were worried about a potential scenario where they would be overpowered. Well, now, instead of the Telos and Cutler OGs coming together, it is now versus the Machias, it is now the Telos and Machias versus the OG Cutlers because people are looking around and realizing in the game overall, there are more OG Cutlers left than anyone else. And if you are doing the math right, that means that the vote is potentially between David and Matt. Now, I know on the one side, Tyler actually pitched David as someone to go. David went off, I think, to maybe go fill like water by himself, and Tyler took that opportunity to share her frustrations with the rest of the tribe about David sitting out in the challenge. And it's just so interesting because like perception is reality in Survivor, and Tyler's perception was that like, hey, why did David not step up in the challenge and do the math portion instead of Culp? Because David teaches math for a living. Like he should have been so good at that and jumped at the opportunity to help his tribe. Whereas I'm told by others that it appeared that Culp actually insisted on doing the math portion and felt really, really strongly about math, and David kind of was gracious and was like, you know what, like, sure, if you're so, you know, confident in that, like, go ahead, like, yeah, you've got this. So it's just so interesting that, you know, anything you do out here is being analyzed, and intention is not always the same as perception. So that's kind of now setting the stage for this vote. And Tyler, let's see. So Tyler, of course, pitches this to everyone, and now the debate rages on between Matt and David. So we do have a hunting party of Bergen, Dave, and Matt, and it's interesting because, sorry, I keep hearing the wind and thinking someone is behind me, like listening in. I'm like, oh my god. It's interesting. So I'm told that Bergen and Dave want either Matt or David for different reasons. So Dave actually is telling Miko, who is a close ally of his, reminder they were on OG Telos together, that Dave does not want the hunting party advantage at the merge. He claims that he does not want such a public advantage to put a target on his back. And so he actually wants to boot Matt, and Miko agrees with him. Miko does not want such a public advantage for his ally because he doesn't want Dave to be targeted, wants to keep him around and continue to work with him. And so Miko also wants Matt out. On the other side of this, Bergen, again in the full hunting party, wants to keep Matt over David because he likes that they have a full hunting party and does want that advantage at the merge. So we kind of on one side have Miko and Dave saying, hey, let's boot Matt. We have Tyler and Bergen saying, hey, let's boot David. And let's check in with David and Matt now. So David heard Bergen said his name, and so Matt knows that he is also potentially a target because Matt was told that, you know, he's the alternate name out there, but David might be a target. And then that brings us to Culp. Culp has been super campaigning to keep himself. He's been campaigning amongst his trio of Tyler and Bergen. He's been campaigning to Bergen to keep him over Tyler if that situation was ever to come down into a 3 where they needed to eliminate one of them down. And I am not entirely sure where this... Oh, I do know where this paranoia stems from. So, of course, Culp spent the night in exile, didn't have that time with his tribe. And so I think he's really worried that perhaps, something formed in his absence. And so also he's paranoid because David is trying to shift the target off of himself and Matt and throw it onto Culp. And is hoping to get something going there. And again, the backdrop of all of this is that we still have not seen a fundraising advantage play out. So that is like living rent free in all of their minds, I am sure. You never know who has raised the most money. At this point, we have not seen anyone have that revealed. So, like, the odds are getting better and better for almost all of them to raise the most money. So it's just one big mess. So let's head on back and see what is to come of it. Oh, one more thing, sorry. As I mentioned earlier, Dave is claiming that he does not want the hunting party advantage to Miko, his close ally, but he's busy claiming to Bergen and Matt that he absolutely wants the hunting party advantage, to the point where Bergen is super convinced that he does want the hunting party advantage, even though he is targeting Matt, so clearly that's not true. So, just another round in the life of Can You Survive the Hunter's Moon? Let's head on back. Looks like Alan is already ready and waiting with those votes, so we will pop on back to Tribal Council now and find out what's gonna happen. Ty Owen's saying, I just want to see someone with that fundraising advantage. I agree. I feel like it would be so exciting and so wild. Oh, okay. Alan now heading out to gather the votes. So we are ahead of schedule here for once, which is exciting. Our players just silently waiting. They have all voted. We have David, Bergen, Culp, Miko, Tyler, Dave, and Matt, all awaiting for host Alan to arrive with the votes.
If anybody has an advantage or an idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. I'll get to the votes. First vote, David. Second vote, Culp. Third vote, David. That's 2 votes, David. 1 vote, Culp. Fourth vote, David. That's 3 votes, David. 1 vote, Culp. Fifth vote, David. That's 4 votes. That is enough. You need to bring me a torch. David, now is the time to find out if you raised the most amount of money on your original starting tribe. And I'm sorry to say you did not. The tribe has spoken. Please join your place at the hunting party.
All right, and David is gonna head on with me to the live stream. We are gonna head on over here. Gonna make our way to this bench, and you'll settle in, take a moment to yourself, and then this will be your time to share anything you'd like with the live stream. We'll head on over to this bench over here. Sorry, I know. The swing is so fun and it's such a fake out. But yeah, you can. There's just a poor service there, so I'd rather. Yeah. All right, as soon as everyone gets far enough away, we will go ahead and hear from you. Just waiting another couple moments. All right, David, this is your time. Anything you want to share, any thoughts you're having that you would like to just get off your chest or let the viewers know?
This was such a fun experience, and I'm definitely going to fight to try and get back in, absolutely. Honestly, I'm not like too shocked that this happened because Red had an advantage, so they wanted to make it as even as possible. And between me and Matt, maybe they just saw me as a bigger threat, bigger game player. I'm not entirely sure, but it was so awesome meeting everybody. I have had such a fun time, and it's not over till it's over, so who knows? I may be back.
Absolutely. And I love that you've had such a fun time out here, making it deep into day 3. I'd love to hear maybe about like your favorite moment out here or something that was like the most fun.
Yeah, I had such a fun time. Even though the Tanagram took like 8,000 million years, the moment when Brianna and I actually got it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this actually happened. And we did it. But there have been so many little moments that I've enjoyed, just getting to know people personally and hearing their stories. It's been really inspiring. And like at the end of the day, it makes me really happy knowing that we're doing this for charity and everyone's doing this for such beautiful causes. And I've heard everyone's reasons why, and genuinely, like, I'm just happy to be a part of this, and I'm so grateful.
I'm so glad. We're all glad you're here. Sorry, I haven't had my second energy drink of the day yet. As you mentioned, you were able to win it for your tribe in the Tangram. Lots to be proud of about your time out here. I'd love to know maybe something you're most proud of about yourself during this experience.
Most proud of just being able to like connect with people on like a real basis, and like game is game, right? Like for whatever reason they voted me out, and I'm cool with that. But I am going to take away from this and remember all of the conversations I had with people. So I guess it's just like, don't miss around the fire. Sorry, I know it's not one moment, but that sticks out to me.
I love it. Well, before we let you head out, you mentioned all the incredible causes our players are playing for. Yeah. I'd love for you to shout out your cause for the viewers.
I am playing for still playing, it's not over yet, for the New England Forestry Foundation. I am a huge nature lover. That is my passion in life, and I hope I made you proud.
All right, well, thank you so much. I will let you head on to the hunting grounds with your handler, Ale, and we will catch up with you later. Thanks, David.
Yeah, genuinely.
All right, friends. Heading on over this way. Gingerly picking through all the acorns because I'm not wearing shoes, which was a choice that I made and I'm sticking with. All right, so players are already gathering their belongings, heading back to the challenge field. What they do not know is I believe we're about to face off in a big challenge that might have a couple losers. Or a couple winners. We'll see. But anyway, it looks like it's already set up. I can see some colorful circles in the distance. So I'm going to say we will be back in 5 to 10 minutes to, check out all the action because we are far from being done today. And I need to go chug that energy drink so I can bring y'all some energy and some coherent thoughts. So I'm going to head off and do that. Thank you for joining me and the rest of Can You Survive? And we will see you so soon.